Additions removed to the agenda?
We do not.
I do want to have an executive session, short one, okay? Next is approve the minutes from the previous meeting, which is October 7th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for October 7th.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from citizens? Bill?
I'm going to let Chris go
Okay,
first.
there you go.
Well, I mean, do you want us to wait until you got...
This is actually probably an agenda item too.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's down the roll.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can wait until...
Well, this.
okay, so we'll swing back in like 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Department head report. I see.
You, of course, wanted attached at the
Please
end.
attach it, yeah. Last month, we produced 425 million gallons of water a day, and we used 125 million of that, so we let one go.
I looking.
That's the September.
Yeah.
You're looking at September. Don't confuse me.
You got 2 months already. Okay.
Yeah.
Springs are still producing plenty of water, average 450,000 gallons a day. We use 230, so they're doing okay. Ron went to the final asset management plan training in October 14th. BJ went to the other two. I want to thank you guys for doing that for us. Joe also went. The reason they went for that is we get some priority points towards future funding. It helps us get that, so we're trying to find funding for some estates, so that's what it is.
And BJ, I apologize, but Joe said that was the best of the three.
Okay.
That was definitely the best of the three.
That's good to hear.
There was a new culvert project on Pond Street, and we had to be there just to make sure the water lines weren't disturbed. It was a service put on 21 Mill Street. We replaced another service on 22 Andover Street. Plumley Avenue project was completed. So that's all done. We had to do a stream crossing because it was taken out during the flood. We had that fixed. Altitude valves are working and they're flushing and doing whatnot. So thanks for the report, Joe. We'd like to.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Any questions on that? Nope. All right, aged receivable reports. I don't have, well.
You don't have it?
I did bring it out with me. It doesn't help. It looks like we're doing pretty well. You guys are still getting it cleaned up.
Yep. We do the only one that is now going to be, I believe we'll be able to have action taken on it is 14 Valker. Some things there have changed, so being able to address that. So that's an outstanding bill, which we couldn't really do before, but we can now.
Okay. Good. So presently, we have $5,268 over 120 days. That's down a lot from when you started.
Yeah.
You've done a good job cleaning that up. So.
Good job.
Keep up the good work. Water allocation requests, there are none.
We have none.
Here we go. Thompson and Ryan Avenue water concerns.
So this is something that has kind of been on and kind of has been ongoing. We've been in communication with the folks that are here and really trying to get to the bottom of the water. They've had some serious water discoloration problems. And Chris and I have talked about it just recently that some of it is just the town trying to check the boxes as to the process. They've been more than patient with us doing that. We looked at, we flush does not have a significant amount of change. We looked at, what we talked about, ice pigging, which is, flushing an ice slurry down the lines, regular pigging, which is forcing, a solid object through the lines to clean them. But the benefit of that at $80,000 to $100,000 is just not cost benefit to even say that we can go and do it, and it may not solve the problem there. So the step that we're at right now, and then I'll let them speak to it, is that we've reached out to MSK engineers to come in and look at the entire line there for their options, which includes up to replacing the line, which is probably, not the easiest thing, but unfortunately might be the absolute end-all be-all solution is replacing that line. As I mean, Chris has, you brought it, right? The water filter. It's, you know, and we've had communication via pictures, et cetera, that it's not pleasant. It's rusty. And as we know, the water that comes out of the springs is probably the best in the state of Vermont. So, but that's not their problem. That's not anybody who lives on that line's problem. They pay their, you know, when you pay your utilities, you expect, you know, that to not have to be replacing filters and damaging your utilities in your house. So, you know, when we are talking, you know, replacing that line will be costly, but that is something that we may be faced with because we've kind of, you know, when you have projects where you kind of check these boxes, and unfortunately it sometimes moves slower than you want it to. But when you get done, when you have a project of that size, to be able to say, hey, we're going to spend this money to replace that line, you want to be able to say, well, this was our only option that we have left. And I would think, and Joe and Ron can speak to this too, I think we might be facing that down right now. So.
It changed quickly, like right after the flood, within a couple weeks
did
after the
change very
flood,
quickly.
my water started to change, and it's never been the same since. And I don't know what it was. I know they fixed the line up behind Chris's, and it doesn't make any sense what that one would have to do with the other.
And you put a blow
That's when it changed.
And the hardest part about it is, you know, I come from Cavendish, where, you know, there's horror stories about the water, including my own, and dealing with it. And sometimes, like, this seems to be a little more isolated, but sometimes there's almost no rhyme or reason for it. And I wish there was an easy explanation for it. This seems like it could be, it's more than likely the line, but water systems are a fickle thing sometimes.
So, just an operation question. So, that's a loop off of High Street, goes up one, down the other, or vice versa? Correct. Have you tried to run it the other way and then not make it a loop? Does that do anything for you? Or can you do that? You know, just feed it like up Orion and have it come back to Thompson and then for a while go back the other way to push that stuff out, or that wouldn't work?
We wouldn't know, if we had valves open at the end of Orion and Thompson, who's to say which way it's going to come from?
Right, but if you closed one or the other, just forced it,
And have a dead end?
come back around and dead end for, I don't know.
Sure, we can
I'm
try.
just spitballing. I'm
We
not a
have
water
the-
expert, but
We have the capability
Yeah.
to do that. When the upgrade at High Street happened, they put in 3 valves at the end of High Street and 3 valves at the end of Thompson. I mean, at the end of Thompson and 3 valves at the end of Orion. So we can pipe that to go anywhere. And there's a hydrant right between Thompson and Orion as well.
I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm just thinking out loud, or could it go up Orion, behind Krista's house, back down Thompson and deadhead right at High Street?
And you want to try and do that?
I don't know.
End it right there?
I don't know.
I'm open for any suggestions.
So I think we're beyond,
Yeah, I know.
I think we're way beyond trying to, the water department's been great. They've been up there all the time flushing, you know, the blow off, and I think they've done their due diligence. And I would never sit here and say that they haven't made efforts, but I think the reality is the line is shot. And I mean, this water sample, so.
Yeah, I've seen those, yeah.
Well, this is after 2 weeks, Dave.
Yeah.
This is after 2 weeks. This picture here, and I'm happy to do a show and tell, but this picture here is literally a tray full of filters
Yeah.
that I went through in a period of 2 months.
Yeah.
That's after 2 days at one point.
I don't doubt it. I mean,
So, but here's the deal. So this is, and please pass that around and have everybody take a look at it. Here's the deal.
I don't want to see it.
Is that we're bathing in this. So every time I flush my system and I change my filter, what I have to do is I have to, and this has been ongoing for a long time because Bob Kirkbride, who owned the home before us, he knew that there was an issue with the water, because he's got 2 filters inside the house.
Okay.
And he's got a filter before the hot water system, and he's got a filter before it even gets to that. So he knew that there was an issue with the water. And for my kids, every single night, every morning, to hop in the shower and know that that's the water, this is the water that they're bathing in, because that's coming out of the hot water tank. And I don't even want to say forgive me, but my apologies for being a little forthright, but it's been going on since March.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's been going on well before that.
Okay.
So I think we've reached the point at this stage in the game where we're beyond trying a new solution. I mean, I don't even know what else you would do to solve this problem. But this is the water that we cook in. It's the water that we bathe in. And frankly, it's the water that's pumping through our house. I mean, we make coffee with that water. And
We drink a lot of water, so
are we expected to
No, you're not.
call Poland Springs and say, hey, listen, we got to start doing this? I mean, it's just, and I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole in this meeting of prolonged exposure to elevated levels of iron and so on and so forth, but that's not healthy. It's not healthy. So I'd love to hear what the Water Commission would like to do for a be-all, end-all solution to this thing.
So at this point, it's going to be too late to do anything major. I mean, here it is, the first week of November. But like you guys were just talking about reversing the flow of the water and trying to flush something out is going to be probably what you're going to be able to do for now, and then come up with something through the winter that first thing next spring, something gets done.
Got to find some money, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, I think ideally, we have MSK that's coming in. When are they coming to? You know?
It's in Jason's lap.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to hear from him.
And then they'll give us an idea, in the reality of, it's a stretch of line. It's not a huge project, but it's going to be costly. For what it's worth, we got $140,000 today from the options tax. So, that's earmarked for infrastructure. So, kind of.
How would we apply for that? Is there a process yet, or no?
There is some funding through the clean.
I'm talking about the option tax money.
That would just go to the select board.
Is there a mechanism?
Yeah.
We would give them a proposal for money?
Which I think is, as we marked it out when that was proposed, it's capital improvement infrastructure. It kind of seems to fall into that. And then you look at the revolving loan fund from the Vermont Clean Water Act. That's a possibility as well. But ideally is getting a number sooner than later from MSK engineers as to what that would be for that replacement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of obviously solving the problem. Nobody wants bad water. So is there any money, like, can you go to the state and show them this and say, we got a problem, can you come up with anything for us, any quick money? Or?
There are, and that's something I can investigate. Just we'll talk to rural water. Sometimes they have good things on rural regional planning as well. They have access to that. There are funds available in some pots of money that could be allocated for those projects. There may be a possibility. We do still have some ARPA funds left that need to be expended by the end of the year, but that could possibly go towards one of those projects.
Do you think changing a portion of it for now would? I don't know. I mean, like there's a portion that goes between Thompson and Orion through Chris's property. I mean, is that?
Well, no,
I don't know. I'm just.
nobody on Orion is having an issue that I've heard about.
Nobody is. Is that what you said?
That's on the loop.
But that's on that loop.
So it might be worth
So it's
doing between Thompson and Orion with that to start with, and then
From that hydrant by Terry Thanes. So you can
Or
still
just off
flush.
Thompson, from High Street to Chris's house. Is that what you were talking about more?
And then you'd be able to flush,
Well, then we'll have 8-inch on that side.
right?
Well, kind of what I'm saying is a stopgap measure for this, I mean, it's getting late, but, I mean, is there some shorter section we could change that would be money well spent this fall? I mean,
The piece in between Thompson and
that's what I'm
Ryan.
wondering, is that where the shoe's pinching there? I don't know.
Could be a start.
That's a bad place to start, because we'd end up with a valve.
And that wouldn't be a big engineering project, it'd just be putting pipe in.
Yep.
No services.
And if it was, and it would be part of the larger project.
Yeah.
And can we do some testing with shutting off a few valves and isolating, maybe figure out what section is?
That's easy enough to do.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to talk to some residents and check on some water and things like that, but it'd be nice to identify what section needs to be done first, and I'd like to see something get done, if we can pull it off in the next few weeks here. I agree, this is a little bit unreasonable. This has been going on for too long now. How long has this been going on for you guys? Since
March?
Well, I mean, it's been going on for a while, but I mean, you know, and I guess we're probably we're probably a little bit too tolerant, but.
But this conversation that's happening now started March 6th with bringing down filters and
I had a
Trying to
whole
get the ball
filtration
rolling.
system put in my house.
Yeah.
It cost $700. I mean, my water has been yellow, and I was like, it's kind of weird. It wasn't rusty, but clean the bathrooms, it's just this yellow film.
yeah.
It's gross.
You know, and it's not but when we bought on Thompson, both bathrooms were replaced. Both toilets are stained from this water now. You know, we're seeing residue that we're clean people.
Yeah.
And what I'm cleaning weekly in our showers, nobody should be wiping off the film that I am cleaning out of our
That's after it's gone through the filter.
and they're keeping up with, coming 3 times a week. But if they don't get there for some reason, they've got other stuff going on and they're not 3 days a week, it's significant.
It makes a difference.
No, and I mean, if you look at the last picture, there's enough sediment or stuff in our water where if our kids and teenage boys that take long showers, I don't know, I can't skirt around that, but literally, if there's steam in the bathroom and it drips down the walls, the last picture in there, I mean, it's staining our walls. That's how much.
Well, the brand new shower basin, the brand new shower basin that's been
2 years
installed 2 years ago,
2
is
years old.
broke. It needs to be ripped out and done again. Like, it's just,
So,
and all, it's not each individual thing is kind of like you could deal with it, but it's just the
Right, it's all
accumulation of all of it. It ends up, starts to cost,
Yeah, I hear you.
cost.
on our hot water heater, I had my guys deal with it a couple months ago, and it's still pumping out that, and that's not good for any,
No.
any utility in your home. So,
Well, since we're not getting dirty water on Orion, or no dirty water complaints at least, is that something you'd want to do, is dead end Orion? And then that way, when we flush, we know it's going up Thompson, past Chris's house, past Billy's house, and out our blow off.
Yeah, I think you gotta reverse it.
Do we want to try dead ending Orion
Yeah, shut it off at High Street.
at High Street? And then we know it's going up Thompson by your service, and by your service and out the bluff. When we open a bluff, it's never dirty.
I gotta believe that line is about this big at this point. Because when you flush it, you can take a 2.5-inch hose with your hands and squeeze it. There's no pressure.
Okay.
I bet it doesn't get 100 gallons a minute.
no, and we've been there when they flushed out the hydrant by Terry Thane's house, and
You only have 4-inch
to
line,
Joe's
right?
point, like, we're here, quote unquote, bringing concern to the water commission, but when they flush the hydrant at Terry Thane's house, whether it be dead of summer, spring, fall, whatever, I mean, that water, when it first starts flowing, is mud.
Yeah.
It's mud. So, and I think the thing to probably bear in mind is not everybody has a water filter.
Right.
So they might think their water's perfect. And in reality, there's no way, if they're flushing the hydrant by Terry Thane's house, there's no way that, and it looks like that, there's no way that his water is Poland Springs.
I can't see the dirt in the water out of my sink.
Right.
It's only the residue in the bathroom,
Right.
is how we first noticed it. And his was like, poof, way worse.
But we can see it if it's not flushed,
Yeah, so
several
water
times during the
is
week. When we get a
yellow.
glass of water, you still
Yeah.
see it, even with the filter. So.
And you can't do that.
Brown coming out.
We can flush the hydrant,
Yeah.
blow off. I mean, we can flush the hydrant and just ice up the road.
Right.
Hopefully it'll run out back.
That, the blow off, yeah, well, that's not gonna make it to the road.
Would that make sense, Ron, to get a quick price from a contractor for that
We can
section?
try.
Because that's something you could probably do in a few days. I mean, to actually do the work, I don't know. I mean,
Everybody, we can get a contractor
Yeah.
who's got time enough to do it.
And
So
Brendan,
the section,
what would you need from the
Sounds
water commission in this case? I don't want to wait another month if
I don't
it's,
think we'll do anything, we can just move forward here.
okay.
reducers, not bad.
I would say that, that it sounds like if we can try and put some leverage on some contractors to see if we can get it done ASAP, and then we'll also continue with, the engineering, because, there's a real possibility that this, obviously, we're not gonna replace a water line by December, the entire line.
No, we gotta find money to do that, but
So,
we may have the money to do
doing that,
short section.
doing that while we, as maybe a stopgap to rectify some of the problem until we can, and we'll continue in accordance with the engineering firm. I think that's probably the best way to go.
When the line broke, split during the flood, and you patched it, what did that look like when they did the repair by Krista's house?
There was a crack in the pipe.
But the inside of the pipe, what would that look like? Or you couldn't see in there?
Well,
It wasn't bad.
we just we didn't see the inside of the pipe.
Okay.
There was a crack and we put what's called a
Band on
wraparound.
it, yeah.
But we do have a section of the pipe that came from High Street, from High Street, which I think was put in the same time as Orion and Thompson, right? The old pipe.
No idea.
When we replaced the pipe on High Street,
New compared to that.
there's a section of it in Brendan's office right here that I may or may not represent the
Yeah.
pipe on Thompson and Orion, but it was probably put in around the same time.
I don't know. Okay. So, I mean, that's my thought. Do something soon. Maybe tie the two streets together. You guys can try to deadhead it, backflow, whatever you're doing, but
Yeah, we'll try everything in the meantime. See if I can get a contractor to do that.
throw a price out.
That'd be great.
It's quite obvious, we can't live with water that way. There's no way, there's no way. Something's got to be done immediately.
And thank you for coming to talk to us tonight, guys. I appreciate that. We'll do what we can.
No, and I think the four of us and anybody else that's out, we're trying to be as amicable as possible, but at the same time, I feel like that, having it gone on since March.
Oh, you've been more than told.
Yeah.
And that's that, you don't have to apologize for that. Like I said, we just trying everything, but you guys have been, you guys have been more than tolerant of the situation. Absolutely.
And I've been hearing, we've been looking into these ice pigging and solutions to try and get to this, but it sounds like some line replacements needed at this point, so I'm glad you revisited this with us to see if we can do something else.
At some point, all infrastructure fails.
Yep.
And I really feel
This could be
pretty adamantly that we're kind of at that point.
Yeah.
I don't think you're probably wrong.
Okay.
So do we have a temporary solution?
we'll move on that. We'll start tomorrow trying to find trying to get that work done. We'll work the options to try for the, proposal for line replacement.
And when do your engineers come?
Joe or I will check in with them tomorrow. They're aware of the situation, so I think they're just kind of waiting on getting them here. So they were looking at, the 30,000 foot view of it first until they have a site visit.
Okay.
Very good.
We're sorry. We should be getting to this right away.
Appreciate that.
Are we buying filters?
Garage.
Should we be?
Can, also price. You guys want to?
You guys okay with this?
We'll talk about that tomorrow. I mean, we can probably cover the cost of some of the filters. If everybody's all right with that.
Yeah.
I'll touch base with you guys tomorrow and we'll figure that out.
Yeah, no, it's a process that Bob, you could, for anybody here knew Bob, a lot of you guys.
I know Bob.
We all know Bob.
He had this whole system set up so that you could shut down the water before it hits the house, change the filter, put the new filter in, and then everything's labeled.
Right.
So you could flush everything that was in the line through a different drain, close that valve, and then open everything back up so you knew that you flushed everything out of the line before it started to hit the house. I mean, so I guess my point with that is that he wouldn't have done that
Right.
if there wasn't an issue.
And it's just gotten a whole lot worse since he passed on, because Bob wasn't one to suffer in silence, so if he had a problem, he would have come down and seen
If there was a problem, he'd have been right there.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll keep the tradition going.
Okay. All right, so
Thank you.
we're gonna get some pricing, hopefully get somebody up, at least try to change something. You guys are gonna play with some valves too, and
We could do that easy enough tomorrow.
yeah.
Great.
Okay. All right,
And I guess that's the other point too.
Start in the morning,
If
Wednesday mornings.
when it seems like when the lines get flushed, if I'm not there to use that blow off and someone comes home, it seems like maybe you guys can attest to this or not, but the flushing is better. I think it works long term, but that initial shot, it stirs everything up in the line. So you have to make sure that I'm there to run that blow off when I know that they were there to make sure that stuff doesn't hit my system before I turn the water on. Because it does stir up a lot of stuff, understandably.
okay. All right, manager update.
Not a heck of a lot, completing the work on the water line over on Plumley.
Okay.
So we're kind of just wrapping that up regarding that's from the flood, so it's good to get that done.
And that was a FEMA funded,
That was a FEMA
100%.
Yeah, FEMA funded 100%. We haven't received the invoice from Daniels yet. They still have some work to do there, but it's just about done. I'd say about 80-90% done. A lot of it's the landscaping that they had to do after they did the line. Kind of just winter prep going into the winter. That's kind of where all the departments are right now. So that's really it. From a personal standpoint, this is my last Water Commissioners meeting. So just a thanks to you guys. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate the support. I've enjoyed working with you, but more so getting to know you, I guess, on a more personal level. Thank you very much.
We appreciate your good work. We're sorry to see you go, but it's time to turn the page.
Time to turn the
There you go.
page, it's got to retire at some point.
Here you go.
Really?
All right.
I wish.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else? Other business. The water line going up the hill behind Sam's, it's been problematic, keeps breaking. We got a what's going on with that one?
So, and Ron and I had talked about, and Joe and I, we've all talked about replacing that and just using one piece of pipe to replace it, trying to get it done by winter. I think this jumps the line.
It does
with that
to me.
one.
It does to me, yeah.
So we're gonna kind of, I think what will need to be done is just when, as we look at, and the board looks at future projects, that should be at the top of the list to replace that line up to Pine Hill. But again,
It all comes down to money. That's our
it
Achilles.
It does. So,
That money is, we need a budget for it, that one.
yeah. So that'll be, we'll have to look at putting that in the budget because that'll be done, but it definitely, that needs to be bumped in light of trying to get this
Yep.
done up here because
That's kind of
it
why.
could be the same contractor.
That's
Who
why
knows?
I was asking that
Yeah,
question.
so.
Up at the Springs, has a camera been put in?
They have not, they will be, we reached out, we've had communication with Countryside. I'll take ownership of that. I think we just didn't approve it as fast as we thought we did from our end. So
Okay.
they're scheduling to come in, but I think we probably by the end, a couple weeks, 2 weeks maybe, by the end of the month, we'll have them up.
We talked about doing some fencing up there around a valve area.
Have not gotten to that yet. I think that'll have to be, although it's not a huge piece, it will be a budgetary item as well.
Okay. Other future projects, we have the two projects that are shovel-ready. It's the Pleasant Street Extension and the High Street from the Catholic Church down. We're just waiting on funding. With Ron and BJ and Joe going to those classes, we gained 75 priority points, whatever that's worth. That's supposed to bump us up in the list, so maybe
And
next year.
according to the calculations that I did, that puts us in the top third of the priority list as of if it was last year, we had those 75 priority points. That would bump us to the top third, which would give us funding for that.
Okay. Any other, those are the large projects.
Those are the large
Okay.
ones. Yeah.
Did you receive any confirmation about the reimbursement approval from our attending that meeting?
I have not yet. Normally, I'm just waiting on an email that will come and say, yeah, you've met your requirements, and now that we're funding, you can apply for reimbursement once they get that. I've looped Cherry Nicole in our office, and she kind of handles all the grant reimbursements.
Okay.
So once that comes, she will submit for the reimbursement, and we'll get that back.
Okay. How's the handoff looking to the new town manager so that we don't let this stuff slide away?
I've been looping Cherry in on a lot of things. It's my position, as you know, it's weird. The last 30 days is odd because you're trying to handle the day-to-day things that are going on that happen every day, but also pretty much everything I touch outside of day-to-day has a shelf life of much longer than I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
Nothing here is, hey, let's fix this tomorrow. That's just not the way it works. So I'm kind of playing a lot of defense right now and making a lot of notes. I keep writing down passwords because I forget them, so making sure that people have them. But trying to make that transition as smooth as possible. And, Penny comes on the 1st of December. I am not necessarily in the office, but we'll be in contact, so transitioning that, but also with Cherry and Diane and Tori in my office now. It's making sure that Cherry's looped in on a lot of the bigger projects, the funding projects. There's just things like that, because when the new person comes on, you're treading water for 30, 60, 90 days. But town government doesn't stop, so you have to have someone there to pick that up and kind of be next to you to make sure things don't get missed. So we're doing that. It's a process, and that's kind of going to be the next 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay.
So.
Anything else? Next meeting is December 2nd. Oh, you can come if you want as just a concerned citizen.
I might just sit here and just make up random questions.
I'll bring popcorn.
That's fine.
Agenda items, we've got plenty of things to talk about next time. We've signed the orders. I would like to have an executive session for personnel.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
All right.